The prosecutor's conviction grew stronger with each passing moment. Convinced that Jennifer Weathers harbored a dark secret about the fateful summer night, her daughter, Meighan Cordie, vanished without a trace in Yamhill County. Despite the desperate search efforts by friends, family, and rescue teams, Jennifer remained silent, her silence echoing louder than any words spoken. In the aftermath of Meighan's disappearance, Jennifer underwent a lie detector test, exuding an air of confidence as she recounted the events of that ill-fated evening when they left the wedding. However, her confidence shattered when the results came back inconclusive, leaving her stunned and bewildered. 2 agonizing days later, authorities made a chilling discovery. Meighan Cordie's lifeless body lay hidden down a treacherous embankment near Dayton, a stark 9 miles from where Jennifer claimed her daughter had exited the car, abandoning her belongings, including her phone, shoes, and her young daughter. Despite the grim findings and the glaring inconsistencies in Jennifer's account, Cordie's death was deemed accidental, leaving lingering questions unanswered. Delving into hundreds of pages of police reports and scrutinizing obtained video footage, a disturbing narrative unfolds. One where Jennifer selectively omitted crucial details during police interrogations, yet somehow managed to evade the clutches of justice in the tragic demise of her own flesh and blood. Among the trove of documents, a previously untold narrative emerges from an unexpected source, the innocent lips of Meighan Cordie's 3-year-old daughter, shedding new light on the events of that fateful day. It began as a seemingly joyous occasion on August 18, 2018, as Cordie and her young daughter accompanied her mother, Jennifer Weathers, to a quaint wedding in the rustic landscapes of Yamhill County. Nestled in the confines of Weathers' silver Honda CR-V, they embarked on a journey filled with anticipation and camaraderie. In Weathers' recollection, captured on a videotape polygraph examination, she painted a picture of bliss, a flawless day brimming with happiness. Yet, behind the facade of celebration, lurked shadows of uncertainty. As the festivities unfolded at Heiser Farms on Grand Island, south of Dayton, Weathers immersed herself in the revelry, indulging in wine and dance. However, whispers among wedding guests would later reveal a darker truth, one of excess and recklessness. 3 distinct voices echoed the same sentiment, recounting Weathers' staggering state of intoxication, with one guest characterizing her as sloppy drunk, a damning testimony captured within the annals of a Yamhill County Sheriff's Office police report. Under the scrutiny of the polygraph, Weathers vehemently denied any intoxication, weaving a delicate web of denial to mask the glaring reality. Yet, amidst the chaos of conflicting accounts, one fact remained unchallenged: Meighan Cordie's presence and her alleged involvement in the revelry, although no witness deemed her as inebriated. As the layers of deception peel away, revealing the intricate tapestry of that ominous day, the innocence of a child's testimony emerges as a beacon of truth in a sea of ambiguity, beckoning closer scrutiny and deeper inquiry into the events that led to Meighan Cordie's tragic disappearance. As the clock struck 10:30 p.m., the once idyllic wedding festivities took a sharp turn, marred by the discordant notes of a brewing altercation between mother and daughter. Meighan Cordie, her daughter growing weary, expressed her desire to depart the reception, igniting a powder keg of tension between her and Jennifer Weathers, their voices rising in a cacophony of disagreement. Their verbal sparring, tinged with the bitterness of unresolved disputes, spilled onto the darkened path leading to their vehicle, a scene captured by keen investigators piecing together the puzzle of that fateful night. At the heart of their dispute lay a contentious debate over who would assume the responsibility of driving, a decision fraught with implications. Cordie, burdened by the weight of past mistakes, adamantly refused to take the wheel, her past DUI haunting her in the form of a breathalyzer ignition lock, an unyielding reminder of her transgressions. Meanwhile, Weathers simmered with resentment, her desire to linger at the reception eclipsed by the urgency of Cordie's plea to depart. As they embarked on their tumultuous journey homeward, the tension escalated to a boiling point. Desperate, Cordie reached out to her boyfriend, seeking solace in his embrace, only to be met with the cold sting of rejection, a chilling echo in the night, documented in meticulous police reports. In a moment of impulsive defiance, Cordie demanded release from the suffocating confines of the car, a plea met with compliance as Weathers slowed to a crawl, the bitter taste of resignation hanging heavy in the air. With a swift leap into the darkness, Cordie vanished into the abyss, leaving behind a shattered tableau of disbelief and despair. Amidst the oppressive darkness, devoid of guiding lights or comforting abodes, Weathers frantically searched in vain for any sign of her daughter, a futile quest, punctuated by the haunting echoes of Cordie's name carried by the wind. With a heavy heart and tear-stained cheeks, Weathers retreated to the solitude of her King City apartment, the plaintive cries of Cordie's daughter serving as a haunting reminder of the void left in the wake of her mother's disappearance. In her anguish, Weathers clung to the hope that Cordie would find her way back, unaware of the harrowing journey that lay ahead, an odyssey fraught with unanswered questions and the relentless pursuit of truth in the shadows of uncertainty. Weathers confided in the authorities, painting a portrait of her daughter as out of control, their relationship fraught with volatility, though physical altercations had ceased since Cordie's teenage years. "Meighan and I have this relationship," Weathers lamented to investigators, her words heavy with the weight of unresolved tension, where a single utterance can ignite a firestorm of conflict. As the dawn broke, casting its soft glow upon the world, a chilling silence enveloped the landscape, the absence of Meighan Cordie a stark reminder of the unraveling mystery. In a cruel twist of fate, Weathers stumbled upon the remnants of her daughter's existence, shoes, purse, and cell phone, hauntingly abandoned in the car, silent witnesses to her inexplicable vanishing. Driven by desperation, Weathers embarked on a solitary pilgrimage, retracing the paths near Grand Island in a frantic bid for answers. Yet, amidst her solitary quest, a crucial omission emerged. A failure to seek solace in the embrace of community, a hesitance to bridge the chasm of uncertainty with the aid of those who may hold the key to Meighan's whereabouts. In the shadowy recesses of her despair, Weathers grappled with the weight of her decisions, haunted by the specter of what might have been, a pivotal moment lost in the throes of indecision and regret. And as the sun dipped below the horizon once more, the truth remained elusive, veiled in the enigma of Meighan Cordie's disappearance, a testament to the enduring mystery that shrouded her fate. Weathers contacted the non-emergency police line. At a wedding, she became upset and left the car. "I haven't been able to reach her since," Weathers was heard saying on dispatch recordings. "I've checked hospitals and jails, but she's not in either." Concerns grew among friends when Cordie failed to appear at work. "It wasn't until she didn't show up for work that we realized there might be something wrong," said Detective Todd Steele from the Yamhill County Sheriff's Office. A team of volunteers, including firefighters, quickly mobilized for the search. Cordie's father is a captain at Clackamas Fire. Numerous flyers were distributed featuring Cordie's smiling face and description under a prominent headline stating, "Missing Meighan Cordie." Yamhill County Search and Rescue later joined the search, deploying aircraft and helicopters equipped with flare cameras to detect heat signatures. Searchers combed through open fields, dense brush, and nearby waterways for 4 days, but found no trace of Cordie. Things may not be as they appear. Simultaneously, detectives began probing deeper, scrutinizing Weathers' narrative of the night her daughter vanished. Discrepancies emerged in her story. Detective Steele discovered a clump of Weathers' hair in the front seat of her Honda CR-V. It had roots intact, indicating it wasn't merely shed hair. It was forcibly removed, Steele elucidated. It was pulled out. Weathers had neglected to disclose a physical altercation to investigators previously. Moreover, it remained unclear why Cordie's belongings, shoes, purse, and cell phone, were allegedly discovered in the front seat of the car when Weathers had informed the police that her daughter leapt from the back seat. Detectives persisted in their pursuit of answers. "I directly asked her, 'Are you ready to disclose the truth now?' She responded, 'I haven't lied. I just omitted a few details,'" Steele recounted. "I urged her to move past that and help us locate her daughter." Detective Steele requested Weathers to revisit the location where Cordie exited the vehicle. Weathers confessed she couldn't pinpoint exactly where her daughter was last seen. She cited darkness and unfamiliarity with the area as reasons. According to police reports, Weathers identified a spot near Grand Island where she believed Cordie might have left the vehicle. She recalled grassy terrain alongside the road, devoid of streetlights. Detectives marked the area with a traffic cone. Investigators urged Weathers to undergo a polygraph test to rule her out as a suspect. She consented. The polygraph results turned out inconclusive. On August 21st, Weathers had an appointment for a polygraph test at the Salem Police Department at 9 a.m. Detectives had explicitly instructed Weathers not to consume any drugs or alcohol except for prescribed medications, fearing it could affect the test's outcome. Weathers claimed she forgot these instructions. She admitted to investigators that she had taken a muscle relaxer to aid sleep. Consequently, the polygraph was rescheduled for later that day. At 1:32 p.m., Weathers commenced her polygraph examination interview. She was attired in a black sweatsuit, paired with white tennis shoes. Over approximately 2 hours, a skilled polygraph examiner had Weathers recount the events of her daughter's disappearance. Weathers acknowledged that she couldn't recall every detail. "None of this seems to add up," Weathers confided to the polygraph examiner. "I have a feeling there's something I'm missing." After deliberating on the circumstances surrounding Cordie's disappearance, the detective posed two specific inquiries. "Are you being truthful about your daughter exiting the car on her own?" the examiner queried. "No," replied Weathers. "Are you being truthful about any aspect of your daughter's disappearance?" "No." The examiner noted erratic and inconsistent physiological reactions from Weathers, as stated in his report. Regarding whether Jennifer was providing truthful responses to the aforementioned questions, no definitive conclusion could be reached, wrote Date. Thomas Johnson, of the Salem Police Department. The results of the examination are inconclusive. The detective proposed a follow-up test for Weathers the next day, which she agreed to. However, later that night, Weathers emailed the police requesting to postpone the second lie detector test. She never rescheduled. Discovery of Meighan Cordie's body. On the morning of August 23rd, 3 joggers dialed 911, reporting the sighting of a deceased woman down an embankment near the Dayton interchange with Highway 18. Detectives confirmed that the woman's body was approximately 25 feet below the embankment. The clothing matched precisely what Cordie had worn to the wedding, a blue flowered pantsuit. The medical examiner and Oregon State Police Forensic Services were summoned to assist in processing the scene. The McMinnville Fire Department utilized a ladder truck to capture aerial images of the road, shoulder, guardrail, and embankment where the body was discovered. The following day, the state medical examiner's office conducted an autopsy, determining Cordie's cause of death as blunt force trauma. The examination revealed aortic separation, a condition resulting in immediate fatality, according to police records. Additionally, Cordie had sustained 2 fractured or severed vertebrae. Investigators concluded that Cordie's injuries were not consistent with being struck by a vehicle, but rather suggested she had exited a moving vehicle and collided with a stationary object, such as a support post of a guardrail. According to detectives, Cordie's injuries indicated she fell or jumped from a vehicle traveling much faster than her mother had described. Furthermore, Cordie's body was located over 9 miles away from where her mother had suggested she was last seen. "Nothing seemed to align," remarked Brad Berry, Yamhill County District Attorney. On August 31st, authorities arranged for a child specialist to interview Meighan Cordie's daughter. When they brought her in, she had a story to share, Detective Steele recounted. The 3-year-old recounted her mother sitting in the front seat after departing from the wedding. She informed the child specialist about hair pulling and how her mom exited the car. As per police records, the young girl recalled her mother returning to the vehicle but occupying the back seat next to her car seat. This seemingly simple detail held significant importance. The girl informed investigators that her mom exited the car not once but twice. "It all started to make sense what she was telling us," Steele remarked. According to police reports, the 3-year-old also provided details about the speed at which the car was traveling when her mom jumped out. A family member clarified that as they accelerated onto the freeway, the little girl remarked, "This is how fast Weathers was driving when her mom leapt from the car." The second tragic report. Law enforcement and prosecutors are of the belief that an enraged Cordie exited the front seat of the car not far from the wedding, as her mother had described. However, she was persuaded to return to the back seat. Prosecutors posit that this would explain why Cordie's belongings, her shoes, purse, and cell phone, remained in the front seat. As they continued their journey home, Authorities theorize that a second heated argument ensued. As Weathers' Honda CR-V negotiated a curve on Southeast Foster Road, approximately 9 miles from the wedding venue, investigators speculate that Cordie either jumped or fell from the vehicle. Investigators believe she collided with the guardrail support beam in the road, resulting in her instantaneous death before rolling out of sight down the embankment. Investigators discount the possibility of her being pushed or forced from the car, deeming it physically impossible as Cordie was seated in the back while her mother occupied the front seat. The death was deemed accidental. Weathers charged with DUI. Police and prosecutors deliberated for several weeks to determine if any criminal charges were warranted. On October 1st, Jennifer Weathers was charged with driving under the influence of intoxicants and recklessly endangering another person. Weathers, aged 50, was not charged in connection with her daughter's death. "We could establish elements of a few different offenses," stated District Attorney Barry. "However, we couldn't establish all the elements of any single offense related to the death. That's why she wasn't charged in connection with the death." Prosecutors and law enforcement acknowledge uncertainty regarding whether Weathers intentionally misled investigators or was too intoxicated to recollect. On February 5th, Weathers pleaded guilty to driving under the influence, a misdemeanor, and was sentenced to 5 days in jail. Jennifer fully accepted responsibility for driving while intoxicated, stated defense attorney Walter Todd to reporters following the hearing. This had nothing to do with Meighan's tragic death. On February 21st, a Washington County judge granted Jennifer Weathers permission to legally change her name to Jennifer C. Jaeger. KGW sought Weathers' comment for this story, but she did not respond. As part of the plea agreement for her DUI charge, Weathers was ordered to have no contact with her granddaughter. Cordie's daughter now resides with her biological father, who was granted custody, according to court documents. Yamhill County District Attorney Brad Berry acknowledges the public's frustration over the inability to bring charges against Weathers in connection with her daughter's death. Following an extensive examination of Oregon law, the prosecutor concluded that no charges or crimes were applicable to this case. "It was very frustrating," expressed Barry. The prosecutor suspects that Weathers was aware of something dreadful happening to her daughter, but chose to remain silent, even as friends and family fervently searched for the missing woman. "It's almost inconceivable that someone wouldn't halt the moment she exited the car," remarked Barry. "One would expect someone to intervene." Interested in staying updated with news stories and updates? Subscribe to our channel for fresh information.